Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Wednesday, May 3rd, 2017. I am Dave Biddle, and I'm very happy to be joined by Steve Helwagen. Steve, let's look ahead to the 2018 draft from Ohio State's perspective. They've done such a great job. I mean, even, especially last year, they did such a great job just taking over the draft. And even this year, I thought it went as well as possibly could have expected for Ohio State. Looking ahead to next year, I think it's going to be a little bit of a drop-off, but who knows? Maybe it won't be. At this time last year, we wouldn't have thought that Malik Hooker and Marshawn Lattimore would have been top 15 overall picks. So just look ahead to next year's draft. Do you think any of these guys will be first-round picks? I think a guy like Sam Hubbard might leave early and be a first-round pick. I don't know if I see any first-round picks in this group, Steve. Just what are your thoughts?
Dave, as I went through it to think about this, I really didn't see a whole lot of first-round guys. Now, somebody will probably emerge to do that, and that'll be great. And honestly, ESPN, we put this on our site. Mark Schlabach just came out and said Ohio State is his post-spring number one. And the only thing that kind of gives you just the slightest bit of pause is their star power. I mean, they had freaks on that championship team in 2014, like Ezekiel Elliott, Joey Bosa, Darren Lee. I mean, the list was very long, just guys that we would consider to be freak athletes and freak football players, and they took over the NFL draft the last 2 years. And I just don't see a lot of that on this team. What I see is a team made up of grinders almost, like a Tyquan Lewis, a Sam Hubbard who you referenced, Jamarco Jones at left tackle. He's a guy I think that could have some tremendous upside because I thought he had a great year last year and kind of got overlooked. Maybe Billy Price getting the rub like Elfline had of playing guard and center. That will increase his stock. Paris Campbell could be a guy who comes out of nowhere if he catches the ball on a consistent basis and has the kind of year that Curtis Samuel had at that eighth position, which, that's a lot to ask for, really. So I agree with you. I don't know that there's a lot of first-round talent, but I think there is some NFL talent on there, whether it be, rounds 2 through 5, 6, whatever it may be. Damon Webb, this will be his second year as a starter at safety. If he has a year, and I don't think anybody's going to have a year approaching what Malik Hooker did. I think he had as good or better a year at safety as anybody I can remember, back to Mike Doss and so many other great safeties, Dante Whitner, that they've had over the years. Kurt Coleman was an All-American as well. So, they you go through the list. It's kind of hard to compare year to year. I like your thing on Baker. I think if he has another dynamic year, he could be in this mix. I don't know. I'm kind of scratching my head to find some star power here that will be draft eligible. They got a lot of great freshmen and sophomores who, like Nick Bosa. He can't go even if he has 20 sacks. So, it's just kind of hard to project who could be in the draft from Ohio State. A year from now, there'll be some guys, but it's just hard to sit here today. I want to see them play 5 or 6 games this upcoming season, and then we'll have a better idea who is kind of trending toward that draft.
Let's take J.T. Barrett off the board, and let's talk about the most indispensable player on offense. We talked about this on Monday's show. The one player Ohio State cannot afford to lose on offense. We'll take J.T. Barrett off the board just to remove any of that discussion there. Jamarco Jones is who Alex picked, and I agree. I think Jamarco Jones is the one guy on offense they cannot afford to lose. What's your take? Who's the one guy you think Ohio State cannot afford to lose this year off offense?
Yeah, I think that was apparent in the spring game when they kept him out of harm's way and didn't even suit him up. And, you don't want anybody stepping on his foot or, injuring him in any way, shape, or form. They kept him out of harm's way because he's going to be the franchise and he's going to protect the franchise, J.T. Barrett. So those two guys, let's take you guys mentioned them just to give the listeners another pick. I will go off the board, and I have to think about this. Billy Price is going to be very indispensable, I think, if he is the center for most meaningful snaps the upcoming season. I would put him on that list. Mike Weber, the only experienced running back they have, and he had a pretty good year last year, just over 1,000 yards. And Coach Meyer is all agog about Paris Campbell, and he thinks he's a guy that's going to make the offense run at the H receiver position. So those three, and if I had to pick one out of those three, crazily enough, I'm going to say Mike Weber. So there you go.
Defense. Who's the one guy the Buckeyes can't lose?
Defense, the one guy that the Buckeyes can't lose. I think they're pretty good at linebacker. I think if one of those guys went down, I like the second team. They've got Malik Harrison. They've got Justin Hilliard is there repping. I was going to say Tuff Borland might be in that mix as well. They've got, some depth at linebacker. So I think we could take, as good as Baker and Worley could be, I'm going to take those guys off my list because if somebody did get hurt, I'm pretty sure that they could fill in and be close. They got a lot of depth in the defensive end group too. I don't know that they have a Joey Bosa up there, one guy who's going to command all the attention. So let's just see. Corners, safeties, maybe Damon Webb. I don't know. Who's your favorite at corner? Who's the number one corner on the team in your mind right now?
Denzel Ward, I think, because he actually, as Kerry Combs loves to point out, he considers Denzel Ward a returning starter, and he says, and this is a interesting point, Denzel Ward played pretty much the same amount of snaps as Marshawn Lattimore and Garyon Conley last year because he rotated in. That's how confident they were in him last year as a sophomore. And those two guys were first-round picks. So that says a lot about Denzel Ward. He really should be in the discussion. I picked Jerome Baker as the one guy they can't lose, but Denzel Ward really should be in the discussion for sure.
I'll say Denzel Ward then, just because I think they're going to be okay at the 4 spots across the front. I think they're going to be okay at the 3 linebacker spots. And, they've got a lot of corners, but very unproven people like Kendall Sheffield, Kudo, Wade. They've got a lot of people there. Just nobody has played a lot of football. So I'm going to say Ward.
Before I let you go, you are, I know a lot of people that are close to the basketball program. I'm going to give you the compliment. I think you might know more about Ohio State's basketball program than anybody I know. And I know a lot of people, including myself, who know a lot about Ohio State's basketball program. I am curious, Steve Helwagen, to get your take on the state of Ohio State's basketball program. Do you feel like this is going to be Thad Matta's last year? Are you kind of up in the air about it? Are you confident Thad Matta is going to be around here for a long time and is going to get back to where he had this program? Just give me your take on the state of Ohio State's basketball program.
Well, good question, Caleb Wesson. They said he was Mr. Basketball. Dave, I'm Mr. Basketball. He's not Mr. Basketball. So, at any rate, let's see. A lot of thoughts about this. The Baisley situation, very messy. It seems like somebody put some pressure on him to walk away from his AAU team and move to an Adidas team and also decommit from Ohio State. And so you just wonder, is he going to end up in an Adidas school like Louisville or Indiana as part of this business arrangement? So I don't know. That kind of, sucks some wind out of the program. Trevor Thompson's not coming back. He's signing an agent. He'll be playing for Tel Aviv or somebody abroad, it would seem, because I haven't seen anybody anywhere project him as an NBA prospect, even though he averaged nearly a double-double at Ohio State last year. And had he come back, I think people would think a lot more about this team coming up this year, although they do have Potter and Caleb Wesson to play inside. They're going to get Derek Funderburk off of his redshirt year. Kata Bates-Diop will hopefully be healthy for the first time in a year and a half and be ready and able to help them. So they still have Jayshawn Tate, Jaquan Lyle, C.J. Jackson, Cam Williams, I figure, is coming back, again, unless he wants to go play at whatever levels below Tel Aviv. So, my feeling is they're going to make the tournament this year, and that's going to be kind of a shock for people to hear me say that. I think they're going to be okay. I think that really the future of the program kind of hinges on getting Dwayne Cohill, the outstanding guard out of Cleveland, and then either Jerome Hunter or Pete Nance, 2 outstanding 2018 players, to kind of fill the void that Baisley left in that class. If they get those 2 to go with the guys they already have, which is Aarons and Goodwin in that class, I think that it could be a blockbuster class. So they're still holding out hope of getting the graduate transfer from Howard. I think his name's James Daniel. So, and he averaged over 20 points a game 2 years ago. So if, that comes through, that could help this year. But, I'm not mimicking PLS or Akron Zip Buckeye. I'm not ready for him to throw the dirt on the coffin of Thad Matta. I think that there's still time to turn this thing around and to do it through how they're going to play this upcoming season and secure the future by adding Cohill in one of those wings and those forwards. I'm going to be able to see all those guys in action this weekend in Fort Wayne. So definitely check the site this weekend. We'll have stuff all weekend from up there in Fort Wayne.
Great stuff, as always, from Steve Helwagen. Thank you very much, Steve, and thanks to all the listeners out there for tuning into the show. I appreciate it. Hope you have a great day. Let's hear some Buckeye swag, best damn band in the land.